Hi, everybody. It's May 12th, and I am here with Paul Miller, and he is here to talk a little bit about trauma and some experiences he's had, but he's also here to promote a program that he has developed on the platform called Skool, Skool. So we're here to talk about both of those topics. How are you today, Paul?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So your program on Skool is to teach, it's to help people heal trauma. Is this correct?
It's identity based, and yes, that is one aspect of it, but it's inner work to help somebody develop who they want to be. And in that process, they can reformat how they view trauma and the role that it plays in their life currently or has played.
Okay, so you're trying to get people to see a different perspective, to see their trauma from a different perspective.
Yes, in a
Maybe
sense, yes, ma'am.
from like an understanding perspective, maybe, because when we understand something, we can get over it. We get past it easier.
Yes, in a sense.
What would you say, like, the pattern of the curriculum is like? Is it just information you read? Is it like, is it worksheets that you have to answer questions? What is it like? Say somebody creates an account and they log in, what will they be presented with?
First, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm glad you're here," and then I'll
Okay.
send a link to set up a Zoom call.
Oh,
From
okay.
there, we set up uh, a face-to-face,
Oh,
and then there's a whole. I start unlocking the program for them in the classroom. There's three initial phases where they will go through and is structured, where you go through and you learn about the different parts of the character trigger that they will build. So there are parts where they answer, there's video instructions, and they can read it. So for me, I know video is easy. Some people read, it's just how they digest it. And then they have PDFs they download. They can follow along to help. They kind of have cheat sheets as they go through this progress or this program. And so right now it's like you get through the first three phases, and then that sets you up to start using these tools in your daily life. Because the goal is not to have somebody sticking around forever. The goal is like, here are these tools so you can restructure and reframe how your brain operates internally, and then you go do your own thing. The
you
goal is
apply
not
it.
to have somebody looping.
You apply what you've learned to your own
Yes.
circumstances. Um,
Yes.
how often do they have the one-on-one Zooms with you? Is that just an introductory welcome to the program sort of thing, or is that an ongoing?
Well, right now, to get all of the program, it's $97 a month. But starting
Okay.
out, the first Zoom call is free, just to see where they are and if they want to do it. But then it's going to be pretty intense with the Zoom calls. It's going to be 2 to 3 Zoom calls a week starting out, and
Okay.
then they taper off. But each one of those calls is teaching them part of it, making sure they're learning it, and then encourage them as they go through this program. So they're going to be needing to learn how to feed their brain properly because they're going to be building new neural connections and they need the nutrients to support that. Need
So
to
you
make
teach
sure,
nutrition too,
oh, a little bit nutrition light,
right?
super
Okay.
light.
Healthy. How to
But
eat healthy.
yeah, it's gentle encouragement to shift what they put in their body.
Okay.
Because if you're trying to change the way you think and rewire your brain, if you don't have the nutrients and the building blocks, it's a waste of time. But when the brain is functioning at full capacity with the right fuel and the right nutrients, it's much easier to rebuild or build new neural connections.
I
Um,
agree.
so there's a lot of coaching involved in this program. But then it tapers off to the point where, hey, you've got this, you've learned this much. This is, you've learned when and where to use it, how to apply it. Now it's your turn to go apply it yourself and continue on your life. And hopefully, in this process, they discover what their passions are and what they want to do in life. Because I believe everybody has a specific purpose, and our society covers that up. It doesn't give that person time to really flourish, and discover what they love and enjoy. And a life is much better lived when you're doing what you love and enjoy versus what you hate or don't like.
I agree. I agree. So the length of the program is as needed, is what you're saying, basically. There's no
Yeah.
set, you start here and you end here. It's as needed.
I would
It
say that sounds about right.
Yeah. Is do you kind of like walk them through the same basic framework for each video and Zoom call you have, or is it like a more individualized session with this person? Because we can call it a session, right? I would call it a session, right?
It's a structured winging it, because it's like extemporaneous speaking. I'll have talking points for each Zoom call,
Okay.
and it's like these are the stages, because on the back end I'm tracking what day they're on. I'm tracking what part they're supposed to be practicing or training on. Are they doing their breath work? Are they working on their eating? Are they working on their visualization or their character symbol? All these things they're needing to work on, I'm tracking it. So when I go into a Zoom call, it's like, okay, this is where they should be, and this is the next part they're going to work on. But also, I'm going to be talking to them just like legit, because if I have a script, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? I want to gain authority. It's like, all right, blah, 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 script, script, script. But people don't receive that in an authentic way. So
No,
it's
I
like
agree.
structured winging it.
I understand. So it's like you're guided. You keep yourself guided with notes, basically. Try to stay on task
Yeah,
as you can.
if I don't guide myself, we'll start talking about action figures or something, whatever.
Okay, okay,
I'm like,
okay.
I'll talk
Um,
about anything.
um, uh, okay. So I was gonna do you have them fill out any kind of like application? Do they have to fill out an application or anything to like enter into this program? Are there any requirements? Any type of requirements?
Right now, I'm aiming at veterans.
Oh, okay,
Granted, it's
okay,
applicable for everybody,
okay,
but I had to niche down a little bit instead of just the whole world is like, that's kind of where my heart is.
okay,
But the
okay.
the honest truth is, if somebody joins that's not a veteran and they need help, I'm not going to say no.
Male
Like,
and female, correct? You accept both?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any certain wing of military that what wing of military you're a veteran, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
What wing of military are you?
Army National Guard.
Okay. 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 I have an ex-husband who is Army National Guard, actually, so I know a little bit about that. I was actually married to him when he was active, so I have some knowledge about that. How long have you been doing this program? How long has it been up?
I started creating it almost 3 years ago, maybe fall of
Oh,
or winter of 2023, and I really got serious about it October of last year, and now it's almost like pretty much fully functional now. So really, a couple of months. Like I'm new into it.
okay, but you've been preparing for this for a long time. You've built the energy up. Like when you prepare for something for such a long period of time and you put so much effort and energy into it, it's gonna pay off. Like it usually pays off in that case. So I really think this is gonna give you everything that you want out of it. That might be a little far. Maybe not every. You're gonna have your moments where you're saying to yourself, "Oh my God, why did I do this?" But yeah, I think it's gonna work out well for you. Um,
Thank you.
so let's talk about your. Um, uh, I'm trying to think of the word to say. Your qualifiers. Let's talk about your qualifiers and why you're able to do this, and
Okay.
why you created this program in the first place. I would assume trauma is involved in some of your past experiences and stories are involved. So
Oh
can you
yeah.
tell me a little bit about like where was the turning point in your life where you said, I'm gonna start healing and I'm gonna work on this journey?
It was in like 2017 or 2018. when I
Okay.
really was like, I'm going to pursue healing, because for about most of my life had just been trauma, tragedy, tragedy, trauma.
Hmm.
Um, and so I started doing a deep dive in that, and it's like you get more, like I got more broken the more I got into it, but I was determined. And then when I really, really hit a huge shifting point, I had a spiritual awakening. And I have seen a lot of people like, and I heard about, people with the dreads and the sage, and they're like, spiritual awakening.
Okay.
From a grounded perspective, it's real. Like nothing on earth could have prepared me for it. And it
Okay.
altered my life completely. And where I realized that something had to change at an even more fundamental level was that my soul's purpose was not in alignment with what my brain was programmed to believe to be true. Because
Hmm.
my brain and my soul are two separate things. And the human is one of the most, or the most trainable species on planet Earth. And I had been trained and not brainwashed, but conditioned to believe a certain way. And when I realized what the truth was, I had to change all that. So I started down this rabbit trail of doing it myself and what that looks like. And it was this miraculous process where I'd get these little intuitive nudges of like, explore this, explore that. And I would, and I started building this structure internally, like in my mind of like, ooh, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to follow this and start changing how I perceive my past, how I think, how I view the world, um, what my mission is, how I stay motivated. Literally everything internally was changed. And that took about 2 years of deep, deep work. And that work is
Mhm.
not fun because I had to really look at myself and acknowledge, oh, you're a crappy person here. Like you don't take responsibility here. Or this is something that you hate about your abuser, the way they acted, and that imprinted upon you. You have to admit that. And you can't just push your dark side. You have to incorporate the dark and light. And so through this deep, long process, then I had this structure in my mind of like, it hit me. I was like, other people can use this. If it worked for me, it'll work for others. So I started putting it together, and I don't like work. And so it took a long time.
uh, I just have to say how impressed I am. I'm going to be running through my mind what you said, what you've said here for a while. Uh, for you to be able to recognize that your brain and your soul are different and that they weren't aligned, that's like way up there on the wisdom ladder, way up there. Uh, how did you figure that out? How did you how did you figure that out?
My spiritual awakening, I had these supernatural events that would happen. I would have these spiritual experiences that altered me forever. And there's no way to put this stuff in words at all. It just changed me internally where my soul was present for a few months. I was made aware of reincarnation. Um,
So is it just
just
like information that comes to you, or you'll see something and you'll get more information about what you just saw? Is that kind of how it happens?
um,
How did you
sort of
figure
like
out
that.
that your how did you figure out specifically that your brain and your soul's purposes were unaligned? How did you figure that out? What was the moment where you figured that out?
The truth, I had a vision of my future, of what I
Okay.
was supposed to do with my life. I saw it in my mind's eye. Um, Almost like it was like, this is a possibility of what you can do and what you're supposed to do. but it's your choice to pursue this or not. And everything in my soul, when you get the goosebumps or when
Yeah.
somebody's talking and you just get excited and your soul is jumping forward, your soul's like, yes, that's me,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
align.
Yeah.
It was like every bit of my being was like, that's what I want. That's it. I don't want to pursue anything else. And so I experienced me as my soul for a period of time. And my mind was not in alignment at all. It didn't, because the spiritual and the 3D are two different things. And when they're not in alignment, it's chaotic. And so
I agree.
I believed all of this dogma that I was taught growing up, and I believed all these things I was had to do and act and blah blah blah. And none of that was in alignment. And I realized, kind of like when I popped back into my mind and my brain and all my awakening was over, my brain was like rejecting every bit of it. Just like, no, blah, blah. And it like rejected even thinking about my spiritual experience. But on this level, I knew that my spiritual experience was far more real than anything I'd ever been taught out of a book, like religion wise. And so I realized that I had to program my brain to believe what the truth was to get on my life purpose, my mission.
Okay, so you had an experience that made you exist as your soul, and this showed you what your path is according to your soul, and you took that vision and that information and you said, well, why is this telling me to do this? Why have I been told to do this my whole life? uh, uh, I'm gonna, and that's how you figured it out. Is that fair?
Yeah, I didn't really ask why I was told this. I just,
Oh, you were told.
well, not that I was told it. I didn't ask like why I was told or what I was taught to believe growing up. I just now rejected that, but my brain still fully believed it. So I was like, all right,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Would you consider yourself neurodivergent?
I humbly, yes.
Okay. Okay.
That
It would make sense. It would make sense. I kind of believe that when people go through an awakening, it's their body turning into a neurodivergent individual, because you at that point separate the soul and the brain, or ego separates, and you become your soul, and then your ego is the subconscious at that point. So it would make sense when you said, you existed as your soul, that you were neurodivergent, because that's what neurodivergent people are, according to what I understand, is that they are their soul's energy. So that would make sense. Do you believe in God or source, or what's your?
some people call it source or spirit. I call it the creator.
Okay.
But yes, I believe in a non-religious way. I have in a higher power. There
Okay.
is something out there, but words cannot possibly fathom what it is. And I'm just a little speck.
Do you meditate or talk to this energy, or worship this energy, or is it just something that you're aware of?
I'm aware of it. I don't worship it because that could get me wrapped up in that of like, oh, just worship. It's like, oh, about this. It's like, no,
I'm impressed again, because I don't personally worship anything myself. I consider worship like you're giving your energy to some other entity. Like, you should keep your energy for yourself. Um,
you are so correct because
yeah,
the
yeah,
creator has allotted us this energy for our life and it's our purpose to use it, not to
right,
send it back.
right.
Man, wow, you just hit on a freaking awesome topic, by the way.
Right. Yeah. So that's always been like, like and I'm getting like pictures of people on stage, like singers, you even are like, I have goosebumps everywhere right now. We're tapping on something. When you go and you see a singer on stage, you're worshiping that individual. You're giving your energy to them. So, I'm very
Mhm.
selective as to what I worship, what I choose to worship with awareness. So I'm impressed that you would say that, but I think we are on the same page there. Yeah, that's great. Do you meditate, or do you have any like rituals that you do to keep you spiritual or anything?
No.
No.
For the lack of better words, when it's like a third eye awakening, the spiritual awakening, enlightenment. Like I did tons of research on it, and when that aspect of me woke, it's like I'm always connected. It's like I don't,
I feel the same way. I meditate like when I drive, and like I meditate throughout my day. Like I don't have to intentionally sit down and put a mask on it to meditate.
yes, I'll talk to you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want you to be
That's,
excited. Go ahead.
it is exciting to talk to somebody else that gets it. I
Yeah.
just go to a certain spot in my brain, and I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same spot that used to take me like 30 minutes of meditating to get to, it's like I get there now. It's like boom, because
Yeah.
it's just there.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't waste time with worshiping some entity, like you said, and I don't sit around and meditate a ton and like get all into that. It's like I'm on mission. It's like, okay, I got a mission. I know what is. I can access it when I want to, and I'm going to continue on my purpose. Um,
It's kind of
I heard
poetic
it.
that you
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm excited to say it's poetic. It's poetic what you just said, because you used to be on missions that were you were controlled to do these missions. You were forced to do these missions, and maybe in a way that you didn't like to do these missions. But now you have turned the tables, and you're doing missions, different kinds of missions now, with a different perspective and a different uh, uh, goal in mind. So it's kind of poetic. Um,
I think it fits perfectly. I
It
think it's
it really
awesome.
does. It really does. Have you ever thought of it like that? Have you ever like
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's
Um,
cool.
yes.
Let's talk about your time in the military. What was your MO? I forget what that it's an acronym. It's your job. What was your job?
My job was an infantryman, did that for about 10 years, and then I
Okay.
reclassed to combat medic, and that was super cool.
Oh, okay. Infantry is like the ground people you walk, right?
Yes,
You
a
do a lot of walking.
self-propelled sandbag, how it's
Yeah.
called.
10 years you did that. Is that something you enjoyed, or did you
I loved it. It
really?
was awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Was this in the state of Alabama? You're in Alabama, yes?
Yes, I was in the Alabama National Guard,
Okay.
but I joined 2 weeks before 9/11. After I graduated basic training, we were mobilized for a stateside deployment, homeland defense. And then after that, um, or during that time, the war in Afghanistan was well underway. The war in Iraq kicked off. So after that stateside deployment ended or activation, they asked for volunteers for Iraq. So for like 4 or 5 years, I just kept going back and going back. I did 3 tours overall, and that was very transformative. I will say
Uh,
that.
I have to tell you, my ex-husband joined the 82nd Airborne in Fort Bragg in August before September 11th. So he joined right like weeks before September 11th, just like what happened to you. I think he did 3 tours over there. And then he joined the National Guard and went back with the National Guard again. But yeah, so that's a similar story. So you did medic. You said you enjoyed medic. Was that like an easier type of less stressful job, or more stressful because you're like taking care of people?
It took a lot of brains. I was
Okay, you weren't
nervous.
used to the brains. Okay, yeah, I
No.
understand. I understand that. I understand that. It,
Um,
it's
I
not easy
like
to
it
do a job where
simple.
you use your brains.
No.
It,
And
it's really
so,
not. It's not. I have to give you a little context of why I'm agreeing with you so hardcore on this. I went from working in a horse stable and taking care of 40 horses to being a full stack developer in an office for 50 hours a week. Like I went from just taking care of horses to like developing, and the amount of demand that was on my brain, it was too much for me, and I quit after 3 years. So I totally know going from like a job that's like, just a routine. You can go to work and you just know what you're doing. You don't have to think about it. And then a job where you have to actually think at work. It's a totally different experience. But go ahead. So you did the medic. Did you have to go to school for that?
yeah, the
Okay.
yeah, going from doing something super easy, like just to thinking a lot was not. I had to get my brain in gear, and like the first 3 weeks of the school was l- uh prep work for taking the EMTB, uh, emergency medical technician, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But like it was like this crazy thick book, and we had 3 weeks. Where usually people will take like 3 months or more to study it. So we had to learn the content, classes all day long for 3 weeks, and then pass. And I passed it the first time. I
First
was like,
time?
yeah, because like in that course you get one chance. Like you fail, you get to take it again. If you fail, you're out. And it was that
Really?
way for everything. So it was just high stress. Um, so yeah, I think that was like 9 weeks or longer total for combat medic school. That was pretty cool. And then
Oh. Oh,
I
so you had to go to actual school. You had to go to like school, and then you had to go to like combat medic school, like for the military.
no, it was like a on a military base. It was the whole school was there. Like you do all this classroom stuff, and we had instructors. Um,
Oh,
what
okay.
are they called? I forgot the name of them. But we had instructors with us the whole time, so they taught the classroom portion, and then they taught the field portion, and then like the hands-on stuff. So it was all in-house training there.
So did it take 3 weeks or 9 weeks? Because I've heard you say both.
Oh, I was just saying the first 3 weeks was passing the EMTB, and then
Oh,
the next 6 weeks was like really intensive on like the the
like lab
intervention
work, like
stuff.
lab work, how they call it lab, like hands-on stuff.
Yes, like there
Okay,
was a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
fake
yeah,
blood and tourniquets
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
But it's all through the military, right? The military did all this for you.
Yes.
And you did that for how many years? You were a medic for how many years?
Um, I ended up being a medic maybe 3 years.
Oh,
Uh, I I was in a slot that was an airborne slot, and I couldn't run fast enough, so I went to my first sergeant and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to transfer out because I'm holding up somebody else's slot." And I hated to do it, but I was leaving being a combat medic and going back to the infantry. I picked up my E6, which was cool, but I had to leave a job that I loved, but it was the right thing to do because I was holding up a slot for airborne school from somebody else. So,
oh. So you went back to
uh,
infantry.
yes.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Are you retired now, or are you done? Do you work now?
I am medically retired. Um, in 2015, which was just a few months after I transferred back to the infantry, I came down with a rare disease called transverse myelitis, and that put me in a wheelchair. I was just totally messed up for like months. I had to learn to walk again. Um, so that put me out, and
How
I
did you
became
get
a.
that disease? Tell me more about that experience. How did you get that?
There's no causal point in time where they could look back like, oh, this caused this disease. Like
What causes
1,400
it?
people a year get it.
What
It
causes it?
they don't know. It just happens.
You got
It's
it
a
while you were in another country?
no, it's I was training when it
Oh,
started, and it's a swelling in the spinal cord that damages the it's a swelling in the spinal column that damages the spinal cord. So it messed up the signals being sent to my brain from like my legs and my arm, and basically my body shut down because it couldn't send and receive signals anymore.
are you healed from that now?
Um, I think in the last few months I've had a resurgence,
Oh,
but for a long period of time I was back at like 98% of the time. Um,
is it something you always have?
well, I so I don't know. Like a year after I was diagnosed with transverse myelitis, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh,
And I believe it's relapsing remitting. And I still have a lot of physical difficulties, honestly, which is not the funnest, but I deal with it. Like I
well, I'm
was at
sure.
a ma'am.
Go ahead. You were at a what?
I was like I said, I was like at 98% for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And then about a year ago I started having heart problems. And then about 3 or 4 months ago I started having like these seizure like symptoms, and I've been in and out of the ER, been to the hospital, and I've been to a neurologist and the what are they called? MRIs again. And so they still don't know what's up. But
Well, that's really awful. Can you get up and walk now? Like,
yes.
okay, so it doesn't like stop you from walking today.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not a. Did you at least get some time off of like military? Did you get some time off afterwards? Because you said you were in training, right?
Oh, well they medically discharged me the
Oh,
last
oh, that
time I
was
wore
it.
my
That was it.
uniform.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
They were
oh.
I was in a wheelchair wearing my uniform the last day I wore it when they wheeled me into the hospital. And then the the roller coaster started for months, and I went through the med board at home, and they sent me my discharge papers. So I was like, "Oh, I'm retired."
At the time, was it like upsetting? Was it something that upset you at the time?
Um, I was too busy fighting this physical battle to be upset about losing the uniform.
Okay.
But once I overcame the physical battle and I started dominating that, I would say humbly, then the uniform loss kicked in, and that was like
Hmm.
part of my identity got ripped away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it came in layers. It's like, here's a super hard thing. Oh, you got through that. Here's another super hard thing. And it just event after event after event. Just it was like life was like, let's see if I can break you.
And it did, because you look, you turned into something different.
Oh,
It pressed you so hard. It pressed you into like what would be a diamond. It turned you into, took you from this and turned you into this by squeezing you. Uh,
I think I had to be ultimately broken,
yeah, yeah.
just absolutely broken down because I'm so stubborn. I had to be broken down, like, this is not your life path. Keep this up, and you're just gonna get effed over every time.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Would you say like I meant to ask you this when you were talking about your physical issues. Would you say like being working in infantry and being so hard on your body all these years has contributed to like some of your medical issues now?
Yes, definitely for hearing, my lower back, shoulder, these small injuries like that. But I believe that the stuff that's neurological, um, I was in an IED blast and I had a mild TBI, which the VA said resolved itself, which is totally
What is
crap.
that? What is that?
A traumatic brain injury, a TBI.
Oh,
An
okay.
IED is
Okay.
a roadside bomb.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
Um,
then and then we had these things called like Duke systems, which is like this box on the Humvees that sends out this massive array of signals and frequencies all at once to block or jam remote detonated IEDs, to block all signals.
hmm,
And I believe that that messes with the human brain tremendously. Um, and thankfully, next week I'm actually going to be on a board type thing or a hearing with the VA about transverse myelitis and the possible connection to the military and the all of the issues that I've had post military, neurologically. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm pretty excited about that. It's like little guy wants to be heard a little bit.
Um, do you remember like at the time when they had that frequency box? I guess I'll call it. Do you remember at the time? Do you remember at like thinking to yourself that like your health is being negatively impacted? Like, did you notice your thinking changed or your behaviors changed?
Well, we would turn it on when we would go on missions, so you're pretty locked in. It's like, okay, what's going on out here?
Oh, so it's like a
But I
constant.
did think
Is it like
about,
a constant? Sorry. I'm just trying to understand it. So is it like a constant push out of these frequencies from this machine?
yeah.
Does it send it
Um,
out like in all directions, like 360, or is it directed?
oh, it's a, a globe, all directions. So I
Oh, okay.
truly believe it affects the brain because our brains operate on frequencies, and so it's
Absolutely.
like you're getting blasted with all this stuff. They don't they don't tell a soldier, hey, listen, your brain is going to be blasted with
No,
stuff. We
no,
don't
they
know what
don't.
it's going to do. It's like they're just like, hey, this might prevent you from getting blown up, and we're like, yeah. So at the time, like I did think
Right.
about stuff like that a little bit. I because my mind goes in that direction. Um, yeah, but you never know what the long term problems are when you um, implement new equipment in a combat environment. Just like after Vietnam, all those dudes had
Right.
Agent Orange, and they had all these problems, and they're
Right.
like,
You don't know till
"You're effed
after.
up." Yeah, it's like y'all are all effed up. We don't know what we did.
Um, what drove you to enter into the military? Did you have a traumatic like childhood? Uh,
Oh, it was a shitty childhood. Sorry
was
for
it?
cursing.
No, it's perfectly fine.
At first, when I was about 7, or maybe a little younger, I remember seeing the and hearing the first Gulf War playing on the TV downstairs. And I heard something about a draft or people having to go to war, possibly something like that. And I came downstairs crying because I was afraid my older brother was going to have to go to war. So I made up in my heart, it's like, I'm going to join the military so he won't have to. And so it was a big thing that I decided when I was a little kid. But when I got older, when you get to the teenage years, you start analyzing your surroundings and really thinking for yourself. And I was like, I'm going to escape. And the military is my escape. So to get away from, like, I'll be honest, to get away from my mother, like, join the military was the best option. Like, get the F away from her. Um, and my dad, like, I have no relationship or really never did with my dad. He was like emotionally cut off, uncaring, unloving, just a very rough man. Um, and my mother was just a covert parasitic narcissist. She was just wicked. Like one of my army buddies, I would tell him was like, I think my mom was like connected with a demon or something. The way she would act, like legitimately. Um,
Uh,
but yes, so the military was definitely an escape route for sure.
um,
It was very welcome.
yeah. About your mom being a demon, you know, that's actually like possible. Like her soul can be like a demon entity. I think that like everybody has the ability to be that way. Like she obviously experienced trauma that made her that way. Uh,
Yes.
and she didn't heal it like you have today. I don't know if you have children, or if your children have been through all this healing and different frequencies you've had, but you know she is the way she is because of what she has experienced. So I guess it's congratulations on breaking the generational pattern, because it would have continued with you, I'm sure, if you hadn't have done that.
I'm a curse breaker,
Yeah,
actually. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
gladly claim that title because
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to pass that stuff on to my kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whenever I have, because I have a mom that I wish I had a better relationship with. But whenever I think about her, I just tell myself, she experienced trauma and she wasn't able to heal it like I was. Like her experience is just different than mine, and that's how I find understanding for her. Um, so I resonate with you that there too. I had the same story, but my dad is a little bit closer to me. He's close to me today. Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
You do? How old are they?
9, 11, and 12.
9, 11, and 12. So they've been here with you through it all.
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
have you been retired, or medically discharged? How many years has it been?
10 years in August.
Okay, yeah. So they've been okay. So you started making babies once you got out, huh? Two after.
Right before. Well, it was right before I got out. We
Okay.
started having kids. I was right at 30 years old. And I was like, if we have kids now, I'll still be like 50 something when they turn 20. And my big goal was like, I want to be able to get around and have fun with them their whole life growing up. And so I
So
didn't I
you
didn't want to wait.
so you had this disease while you had your kids, very young
Y-
kids, in fact.
Yeah, they were like 1 and a couple months old when this all started kicking in.
Was your wife are you still married to your wife, the same wife?
She
No?
left. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you married today or single?
I'm single
Single.
as a
Okay.
Pringle.
Hey, I've been single for 7 years and it's the happiest I've ever been. So I impressive again. I feel like you can't fully heal unless you're single. I just feel like you need to be single in order to really truly learn who you are. And in the process of healing is when you learn who you are.
I haven't thought about that, but there's a lot of phases I could have not have gone through with a woman in my life,
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think like the true healing journey is a solitary one. Um,
It
it's how you
is.
just
It sucks, but it's
it's how you
worth it.
discover yourself. It's how you have to
Yeah.
get an animal. Do you have any animals?
Nope.
No, you have to get
Nope.
an animal. You should get an animal.
I'm not ready for that responsibility again.
Okay, okay. I respect that. I respect that. But I think one day you might get an animal. I hope one day you get an animal. I don't want to say I hope because I don't want to put that on you, but I know what animals do for people in healing, for the healing journey. Like, I know I actually have wisdom about that. So when you get an animal, they hold all your energy. They hold your frequency, and it's a healing experience. So maybe one day you'll get an animal. If you had to get an animal, what would you get?
Probably a dog.
A dog? What kind of dog? Do you
Yeah.
have one in mind?
No, not really.
No?
Just whichever one was meant for me and I was meant for it.
Oh, so like a rescue. You
Yeah,
probably want to rescue.
yeah, that has more meaning,
Right.
but then
Absolutely.
also finding a puppy, I like when I was little, I'd find a puppy in a litter and I would just watch them. And there'd always be one that would stick out and be like, oh, that one.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
it's like a combination of like living alone with like no network where I live, uh, makes it difficult to own an animal because I don't have somebody like, oh, go to my house and take care of it. I don't.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of I could talk about anything. I could go in so much detail on why I don't have an animal for like an hour, and you'd be like, "Shut up!"
Oh no, you don't
But
have to. You don't have
I
to talk me into it.
overthink everything.
No, I totally understand. Do you spend a lot of time away from the house? Like, do you go on a lot of trips?
Not really. It's just like times when I have to go to the hospital for a few days. It's like
Okay,
I
okay,
don't have
okay.
anybody to take care of the
Yeah,
dog.
I, I I don't have anybody. I wouldn't have anybody to come over here and take care of my cats if I had to leave, or if I had to be away for a night. They would be by themselves because I don't have anybody. So I totally resonate. I totally am with you there. But I just make myself, I don't go anywhere. I'm home. I'm home every night. I totally am there with you. I'm totally there with you. What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I do leather work,
Oh,
um, and I play some video games like Assassin's Creed. Uh,
what are those things behind you there? Are those is that a samurai sword?
oh, up there?
Yeah,
Those are bokens, like training
Boken.
bokens.
Oh,
It's like a short wakizashi wooden sword katana. A wakizashi is a short katana, and the boken is the wooden version of the wakizashi. And so I've gotten into that a little bit. Like I want to train with swords and stuff. I
like
just
martial arts in general?
I would like to,
Huh.
yes.
Huh.
But in all honesty, like I'm financially restricted currently on my current retirement income, so I'm not able
Okay.
to branch out and do everything that I'd really want to do.
I've wanted to try Tai Chi. Just find a YouTube video and learn Tai Chi. It's actually something it's still on my list. Uh, and with my ex-husband, the military guy, he owned a karate school. We owned a karate school together when we got married. But it was Taekwondo. So that's another thing that's similar. You have like an Egyptian thing behind you. Do you like Egypt? Do you study Egypt?
I haven't really studied it, but from a young age, I've my soul was always connected to anything Egyptian.
Oh,
Like
okay.
and like I'm very, very connected to it. That's the best way to describe that.
That means you were an Egyptian probably in many lifetimes. Uh, yeah, yeah, I would say. Um, that's cool. I
I've
like
had to
I like that
learn to
behind
s-
you.
I've had to learn to stay grounded in my experiences because people tend to pull back when a supernatural experience is shared with them because this day and age people are do not believe in supernatural experiences. So I try to recently really buffer everything that I say supernatural because people do not know how to receive that. They
I
eventually are just like shut down. So
I
what
absolutely
you
agree.
just what you just said, your inference of, I think that's the right word, of my Egyptian connection is 100% accurate because there's a lot to that. But
Yeah, yeah,
I just
absolutely.
hold back on that.
Yeah. Well, that's perfectly fine. You can hold back for as long as you need to if you want to. Uh, yeah, that's cool. I like the thing. I like that back there. It's cool. Um,
Thank you.
yeah. Um, awesome, awesome. I really enjoyed talking to you. Um,
Same,
Thank you.
same.
Thank you. I'm going to be, I'm like running the things that we've talked about through this is going to be one of those interviews that I do that. Like some interviews after I walk away, I'll run the lines through my head and I'll hear the lines running through my head. And this is going to be one of them. Can you tell me a little bit about school, working with the platform school? Uh, what have you enjoyed it? Would you recommend this platform to other people? If you're watching and or listening and you don't know what school is, it's a platform that offers um, a space for you to create your own program or curriculum, and then people can come and they can pay for access to whatever you create. They advertise. I see the advertisements on Facebook and such, and I've always been curious about it. So go ahead. What was your experience like?
I thought about it for about 6 months before I decided to because I needed to figure out how to build the curriculum for my program. and I didn't have the structure to do that. And I did research on the school platform, and it turns out they do have the platform to build curriculum. And so I watched some YouTube videos and they described it, and it was $9 a month. They'd went down from $100 to $9, but it's
Hmm.
like a bottlenecked version,
Mm-hmm.
which is okay because it gave me exactly what I needed, and it was really easy. I would watch a YouTube video, and then I would go on there and start building the program. Um, and then the community building, I'm not that great at it, but I've been trying. Like some people are attractors, and I have turned out like I'm not, but it gives me the perfect place to offer the coaching and the program. So it
Right.
was really easy to build out the program. It was really easy to follow. It's at first extremely overwhelming because you're seeing all this new stuff, all these posts. So if I would suggest somebody starting out, just get focused on your classroom and your community and ignore all the other stuff because there's going to be, it feels overwhelming at first, but you have to stay really focused. And I would go to YouTube and watch a video on specifically how to do one thing. I would watch that, then go back and do it and pause, watch back. And then I used Canva for the graphics. That was an
Oh,
amazing help.
okay.
Um, and then I would use Chat GPT. I would sit there and talk to it and tell it the portion that I wanted to teach and talk about it. And then it would take everything I said and then format it all
Hmm.
in in a structured way. And then I'd go through and read that, adjust some, and that helped the process of creating curriculum because that's not an easy thing to put this stuff in your head into stages and in written format. And but yeah, overall it's been a really good experience. It's been really cool. Um, it's really easy to try to join all these different communities, but if you're building, that's just going to pull your attention to all these different directions and get you unfocused. So somebody starting, I would say, be really picky about your communities and maybe join two that support what you're doing, and then ignore the rest. Um,
Okay.
and that's
You,
what I
you have
have
a
to think about that.
you have a link you can share with me, and I can put that in the description for the podcast, where people can
Yes.
access that program.
Yeah. You want me to email that to you later?
Yeah, yeah. I'll have you email everything to me later. Yeah. I was just
Yeah.
making sure a link or some a way for people. How do people reach your program? Do you have a name for your program? Is there a name?
Uncivilized Rebirth.
Uncivilized Rebirth. I like that.
And a
Do you feel like
shameless plug, I have, go ahead. I
no?
talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
also have a YouTube channel, Uncivilized
Okay.
Rebirth. Just kind of a
Okay.
shameless plug there.
Okay. I do you have TikTok or any other, or is it just YouTube and school?
I have Facebook,
Facebook.
TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay. Well, I
So
will
just
include all of those links into the description if you're listening and you'd like to learn more about Paul. I will include all of those links in the description. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Uh,
cool.
I appreciate you being here with me.
Thank you. I
Uh,
really enjoyed the opportunity.
yeah, I'm really going to be thinking about everything that we've talked about today, and I've enjoyed myself.